You fool, nothing lasts forever. All the ancient civilizations fell, from Greece to the Babylonians to the Israelites to the Romans, nowadays Russia, Germany, America. Everything's going to eventually come to an end, and then it will be reborn again. Nothing lasts forever, period. So if America does fall, it's not because of the Bible. It's because that's the way things work. You know, pyramid schemes are made to crumble in the first place. The polar opposites, or the yin and the yang. Like when you're feeling hungry and you're starving, what do? You eat. And then what happens? You're no longer hungry and you don't want food anymore because you're full. Exactly like when you're feeling horny for sex. So what do? You have sex, and what happens? You get your fill, or you're full of it, and then you become empty, and you certainly don't want to have sex anymore.
I say unto you that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon the 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
You blithering fool. It is not talking about reincarnation, you fool. It's talking about the recycle of the sun of the annual year and the 12 houses of the zodiac. Jesus the Son will be reborn, and those that follow him will also be reborn.
Holy Bible, y'all gonna get slain by the sword.
Holy Bible, y'all gonna get slain by the sword.
The adversaries of the Lord shall be broken to pieces.
Who's the adversaries of the Lord?
Yep, you're a blithering fool, all right. You don't understand that the Bible is talking about the annual cycle of the seasons that are broken up into pieces. This is why we have all the ancient stories of the primordial goddess, or the serpent that is slayed.
Off with your head!
Which is why, for example, in Alice in Wonderland, they slay the dragon, and the old year turns into the new year, or from summer goes into winter, which is why the crown is changed. This is why we have all the ancient stories of slaying the dragon or the serpent, and why all the Hollywood movies portray this imagery. The phallic sword that slays the goddess. This is why the story of the Bible is an ancient story about creation, the old retold again story from the old world, the slain God. This is why the Bible is talking about the Lord of Vegetation, the slain God, the agricultural God, or the sacrifice deity who is hung upside down, which is why the Bible talks about the harvest and the sower and the reaper, which comes from the ancient harvest sacrifice rituals. It's the same story for thousands of years, even before the Bible. It's always about the slain God who is sacrificed or diced and sliced into pieces, exactly like Saturn L or Cronus, who is sliced and diced into pieces from Zeus and his brothers. Or like when Set sliced and diced Osiris into pieces. Which is why we have the story of the bull of a man Marduk who slays Tiamat, the primordial goddess, the serpent, the dragon. Which is why the story of the Bible has the story of Yahweh who slays the dragon, the Leviathan, the goddess or the primordial goddess of the abyss. And yes, the Dionysian bull, or Dionysus, the bull god, was slain, and his blood was sprinkled back into the earth. So, my blithering fool, you miss the entire concept and the true meaning of what the Bible is really talking about. You seem to miss the concept of the dualistic nature of nature. So get your head out of your ass and learn that Saturn El, the god of the Bible, is the fertility agricultural god who is slain. And that's what the whole story of the Bible is about. That's why you have the whole story of the slain God, or Jesus, the Son of God, who is slain and sacrificed. And that's why you drink the blood and eat his flesh. I mean, honestly, how dumb does one have to be to not see the truth once they're led to truth? Now, let's listen to this dumbite stick his own foot in his mouth as he tries to dig his way out of the hole.
The Bible says that the Israelites are scattered among all nations. Originally, all the Israelites were dark-skinned. However, throughout all the years and throughout all the generations, we have mingled our seed with the heathen, and our children are scattered amongst the whole earth.
I mean, I could close the case right here alone. Can you believe that this dumbite actually wants us all to believe, or should I say his excuse is that all people are now Israelites now? Just because he's white, he's going to give the excuse that he's an Israelite, but he's an Israelite because the seed has been spread throughout the world. What a freaking dumbass. Now, let's listen to this dumbite put his foot in his mouth again as he tries to explain the devil.
The Bible was not written in English. It was written in Hebrew, okay? And the Hebrew word is right here. Check it out. It consists of two letters, a Shah and a Da, the equivalent of a SH and a D. Now, Shah and Da is pronounced Shad. It sounds nothing whatsoever like devil. There is no L in it, and there's no dev in it.
Oh my God, dumbite, you're about to get schooled like you never thought possible, so let me hold your hand and walk you through it. You're right, devil does not sound like shad, but they have the exact same meaning. So the Hebrew letter shin, or sin, is the letter that means the moon. The moon is Sin, the old ancient Babylonian moon god, Sin. And yes, the Semitic Sin rode a winged bull, and his father was the bull god Enlil, the bull of heaven. Which is why Sin, the moon bull god, held the title of Father of the Gods, Chief of the Gods, and Creator of all things. And by the way, the very word title comes from the Titan god Cronus Saturnel, which is exactly why all titles are written in the letters of the cap of L, or the capital letters. And this is exactly why the whole story of the Bible is about the story of Mount Sinai, or the Moon Mountain. And Sinai means the thorn. The thorns that come from the horns of the bull, or Jabal Musa, on Mount Sinai. And this is exactly why Moses comes down with horns. And this is exactly why we have the whole story of the Exodus, or the sex of Deuce, and the story of the water, and the story of Moses with his phallic staff that separates the lips, or the waters of the woman, and lets his Israelites in, or should I say, let his Israelites escape. You see, this is why the samach, or the shin, or the sin, look like the thorn. Which is why Jesus, the Son of God, wears the crown of thorns, the horns, from the corn fertility god, Saturnel. And you see, this is exactly why all the Hebrew Israelites worship according to the moon phases, their moon god, which is Sin, also known as Yah, or Yahweh, which also comes from Nana. So remember that I told you that the bull god El is the same bull god of the devil, which lives in hell? Because the two aspects live within the one God. And that's why you say the word for devil is shad, which is exactly why the word for God is Shaddai or El Shaddai. And the very word Shaddad means to overpower or destroy, because God or El Shaddai overpowers and destroys, exactly like Shad, which is his other aspect of the devil, which overpowers and destroys. Winter takes over summer.